Hey everyone, Blake here, and welcome back for another video. Today, I want to cover some of the spells and charms that I think will be in Hogwarts Legacy. I'll also be announcing Week 2's winner of the Mystery Wand giveaway at the end of the video. So be sure to stick around, and if you enjoy, consider subscribing with notifications on so you don't miss any new Hogwarts Legacy videos. Although a few of the spells here have been confirmed to be in the game by leaked gameplay, I'm still adding them due to them being iconic spells that made my list. I'm only going to cover a few spells on this list, then give the whole breakdown of all the spells that have been confirmed in Hogwarts Legacy. Let's start off with the charm we all know and love, the Levitation Charm Wingardium Leviosa. Wingardium Leviosa was a charm used to make objects fly or levitate. It was taught to first years at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. There were a number of lesser variations of the Levitation Charm, such as the Hover Charm, the Rocket Charm, and the Floating Charm, but Wingardium Leviosa remained the original charm taught to students. This is also one of the first spells students learned to cast during their charms lessons in their first year. They also revised the spell in the second and third year to improve the ability to cast and perform the spell without mistake. The Theoretical Charms Exam also includes a question about the Levitation Charm. Hermione Granger was the first student in her class to levitate a feather, much to Ronald Weasley's annoyance. The Levitation Charm appears to be an improvement of both the Levitation spell and the Locomotion Charm, being able to lift objects high into the air but also allowing one to magically move them through it as well. It also conveniently defies gravity by lifting objects heavier than a normal person would otherwise be able to carry, as seen when Ron used this on a Trolls Club, something a first-year student would otherwise never be able to do without magic. Despite its strengths, however, the Levitation Charm has one fatal flaw. It does not work on human beings. Though a human can be lifted using this charm, it is actually their clothing that is being affected. The charm is apparently not strong enough to allow a human to do anything more than float a few feet off the air using this method, therefore does not allow the true flight effect to most other objects. This spell can be used in the game to grab items out of reach, like keys or anything that can be collected from range. I can see this being in the game to move objects to solve puzzles during questlines, or escaping areas that appear to be blocked. If you could cast this spell, what is the first thing you would do? Next, I want to cover one of the most famous spells cast in the Harry Potter universe, that being the Patronus Charm. The Patronus Charm, Expecto Patronum, was the most famous and one of the most powerful defensive charms known to wizard kind. It was an immensely complicated and an extremely difficult spell that evoked a partially tangible positive energy force known as a Patronus or a Spirit Guardian. This charm was the primary protection against Dementors, against which there are no other defenses. In a previous video, I have mentioned to go on Wizarding World website to find out what house you're in. While you're there, you can also find what your Patronus is. I suggest you do that before the game releases, just in case we're able to customize what our actual Patronus might be. There are two types of Patronuses: corporeal, which means a Patronus with a particular shape and form, and an incorporeal Patronus. Incorporeal Patronuses have no particular shape and do not protect against Dementors the way corporeal Patronuses do. However, some wizards like Remus Lupin chose to cast an incorporeal Patronus to hide their identity. The vast majority of witches and wizards are unable to produce any form of a Patronus, and to create even an intangible one is generally considered a mark of a superior magical ability. Rubeus Hagrid is an example of a wizard that cannot conjure any form of a Patronus, as the charm is too difficult for him. I believe we'll be able to create a Patronus in the game due to us being a witch or wizard that harvests the ability to master an ancient magic. Whether we use that ability for good or evil is up to you. Based on the trailer, we're going to encounter enemies such as Infuri. With that being said, we're going to need a good fire spell in our back pocket at all times. So that brings me to the fire-making charm Incendio. Incendio was a charm that conjured a jet of flames that could be used to set things alight. There are many uses for this charm, setting things ablaze for your protection or using it in battle to cause harm to foes. We see Albus Dumbledore use this spell when he meets Tom Riddle for the first time in the orphanage, setting his cupboard on fire. Hagrid also uses this spell to start a fire when he's getting Harry from the Dursleys. I can see this spell being used as a utility spell that we won't need to use all the time, but rather use it in specific situations such as foes that have a weakness to fire, or when needing to use fire to clear a path to continue our journey. What way do you see yourself using Incendio in Hogwarts Legacy? Since we're on the topic of combat spells, let's cover one of the most iconic defensive spells, that being the Disarming Charm Expelliarmus. Expelliarmus is a charm that forced whatever an opponent was holding to fly out of their hand. It was common to see this spell used in duels to make an opponent lose their wand. The Disarming Charm became Harry Potter's signature spell, and it notably caused the death of Lord Voldemort during the Battle of Hogwarts by rebounding his killing curse because the Elder Wand recognized Harry as its masterful owner, and thus strengthened the Disarming Charm to the point that Voldemort's killing curse backfired on himself. It is not known precisely who created the Disarming Charm. Some wizard historians claim that it may have been invented by Merlin himself. Others claim that its first widespread use was in Madagascar in the 11th century. Even if any of this was true, the fact remains that it is not very popular until 1379, when Elizabeth Smudgeling, the most likely inventor in the opinion of Miranda Gossock, used it in a dueling contest in Dartmoor. A single disarming charm could disarm multiple opponents if they were close to one another. Multiple powerful disarming charms were even able to send targets flying, sometimes to the extent of knocking them unconscious, as we see Severus Snape do to Gilderoy Lockhart during his dueling lesson in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. This is one of my personal favorites. I think this is going to be one of the most common spells to use during combat in the game, by disarming foes and giving you a better opportunity at defeating them. Now let's talk about something more sinister, that being the unforgivable spells. Unforgivable curses are the three most powerful and sinister spells known to the wizarding world, and are tools of the dark arts. They were first classified as unforgivable in 1717. They are the Killing Curse of Avada Kedavra, the Cruciatus Curse Crucio, and the Imperious Curse Imperio. Using any of these three curses to another human being, muggle, or wizard will result in a life sentence to Azkaban, unless there is sufficient evidence that the caster did so under the influence of the Imperious Curse. Since the unforgivable curses are very powerful, their use requires both great willpower and great skill in order to bring out the effects. For example, Harry Potter was unable to effectively cast the Cruciatus Curse on Bellatrix Lestrange in 1996. Despite being furious with her for murdering his godfather, he lacked the desire to cause pain for its own sake. Harry's righteous anger only inflicted a brief moment of pain on her. The incantation of Avada Kedavra causes a blinding and intense green bolt of light to shoot from the end of the caster's wand, which, on contact with the victim, results in instant death. There are no secondary effects. The victim simply drops dead for no biological reason. It is possible that the victim's internal organs cease functioning. Muggle coroners would be unable to find a cause of death in such attack, but the Ministry of Magic recognizes the signs of the curse. Killing Curse has no counter curse or blocking spell, although the green bolt may be dodged or blocked with solid objects. For instance, Albus Dumbledore once transfigured a statue from the Fountain of Magical Brethren to shield Harry Potter from Voldemort's Killing Curse. If the curse misses the victim and strikes an inanimate object instead, a small explosion at the point of impact results, which may start a fire of green flame. The Cruciatus Curse, which inflicts excruciating pain upon the victim, requires the verbal incantation and use of a wand. The effects of the curse depend upon the desire and emotions of the character. To produce the excruciating pain implied by the name, one must, according to accomplished caster Bellatrix Lestrange, desire to cause pain purely for its own sake. The extreme pain inflicted by the curse makes it uniquely suited as a form of torture, which is why it was regularly used by Death Eaters. The Cruciatus is the curse which was used against Alice and Frank Longbottom, such suffering that they were admitted to the permanent ward at St. Mungo's Hospital for Magical Maladies and Injuries as cases of insanity. The Imperious Curse places the victim in a trance or a dreamlike state, leaving him or her under the complete control of the caster. The experience is described as a wonderful release from any sense of responsibility. The victim is calm from doing things they would physically be incapable of doing otherwise, to commit horrible crimes, and they obey any order. For example, Barty Crouch Jr., while disguised as Alistair Moody, had Neville Longbottom perform a series of astonishing flips under the Imperious Curse. It is also seen that the curse works on animals, as he also cast the Imperious Curse on a spider during class. Death Eaters have made use of this curse, for instance, enforcing Broderick Bode and Sturgis Podmore to try to steal a prophecy from the Department of Ministries to place several officials under the control to facilitate their takeover of the Ministry of Magic in 1997. Many Death Eaters also claimed to be under the Imperious Curse during the First Wizarding War to avoid imprisonment in Azkaban. Resisting the Imperious Curse is possible, but extremely difficult. Only those of a particular strong will can achieve it. Harry Potter, Barty Crouch Sr., and Barty Crouch Jr. have learned to resist the curse after being subjected to its effects. Now, do I believe these spells will be in the game? I can't be for sure. I think we'll obviously have some variation of these spells used against us on the side of evil, whether we choose to go with that side or not. If they don't use these spells, I can see them adding some sort of spells to resemble them. I hope they use these spells in the game to stick with the canon. This game is going to have a 16+ rating, so therefore killing will be allowed in the game. There doesn't have to be gore, but killing will for sure be in the game, so there has to be some sort of evil spells used against us. Do you think they'll use the unforgivable curses in the game? Let me know in the comments down below. Although we know some of the spells that I mentioned are going to be in the game already, I hope they all make the cut. After reviewing the leaked gameplay footage from a couple of YouTube videos, I've came up with a list of spells that can be confirmed to be in the game. So let's go over them real quick. Lumos was a charm that illuminated the tip of the caster's wand, allowing the caster to see in the dark. Alohomora, also known as the Thief's Friend, was a charm that unlocked objects such as doors or windows. Reparo was a charm that could be used to seamlessly repair a broken object and worked on most materials. Expulso was a spell to produce immense explosions. Depulso was a charm that sends the target away from the caster. Protego was a charm that protected the caster with an invisibility shield that reflected spells and blocks physical entities. Stupefy, also known as the Stupefying Charm or Stunner for short, was a charm that stunned the targets, rendering them unconscious. And the last three that we already covered at the beginning of the video are Wingardium Leviosa, Expelliarmus, and Incendio. I will leave a link down in the description so you can review the footage for yourself and let me know if you think I missed any spells that could make the list. Now let's announce the giveaway of the second mystery wand. Remember, all you have to do to be entered into the giveaway is to be subscribed and comment on each new video until all the wands have been given out. This week's winner is Christian. Congratulations on winning week 2's second mystery wand. Be sure to message the email with the title being mystery wand giveaway in all caps so I can locate it easier to the email provided in the description to let me know where to ship the wand. Be sure, if you are underage, to get a parent's permission before sending your address. I would be more than happy to speak with your parent or guardian to explain the situation of the giveaway if they have any questions. That's all I have for today, so let me know if there's any other type of Harry Potter related video you would like for me to do next. If you have any questions about Hogwarts Legacy or anything Harry Potter related, leave a comment down below. Follow me on Instagram at BlakeCreatesMedia or on Twitter at Scrubwork. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.